Hey gang, Dr. Eddie Weiler. I know I look a little funny right now. Most people won't see me in a baseball hat, and I got my glasses on, got my caddy outfit on here, and so this is my. You can see it here. Yep, this is my Masters caddy outfit. My son plays a little bit of golf, just a little bit, and when he qualifies for certain events, invitationals and special events, you can have a caddy. And of course, here I am being a dad, as all dads do, and not necessarily try to, a lot of dads, and I have fun because my son gets uber embarrassed fast. So that's not good for me because I don't, and I have fun with that. But I also, to a point, I respect his boundaries because as people know me, I can push the envelope a little bit. I do, and it's fun. But I think when I'm caddying for him and I'm setting everything up, caddies never tell you how to play the game. They don't, right? They assist your game because you work on your game. So here I am assisting his game. Make sure his clubs are in order and they're really clean. I make sure all the grooves are clean. I make sure all the tees are in the bag. All his balls, he's got all his balls, new balls in the bag. All his marks on the ball, like his logo, or we put his initials, that kind of thing. And so I get the whole bag ready. We have the gloves, we have the drinks, we have the snacks, we have. I put it all together. So he has to worry about nothing but the game. And everything else I assist with. And so as we go through, he'll ask me, boy, what do you think about that? That's a weird shot. What would you do? What do you think about that angle? This is what I'm thinking. Do you confirm that with me? Or right? So we have those conversations. Or I will let him and I'll read a putt and I go, wow, do you see the break in there? No, I didn't. Wow, that's it. So yeah, check that out again. And again, not telling him how to play the game, just kind of covering his back. Like, I got your back, dude. Now, I'm not just dad, but I'm your caddy today. So I'm not dad. I'm your caddy, which means you tell me what you want and I will do all that I can to help assist you. Because if I'm not going to play the game for you, this is your game. And as I've done this over the years with him and watched him mature into this golfer that he is, it's amazing how he studies and how much he practices. And so we kind of go through all of this, and then it kind of hits me as I get quiet on the fairway. And I moved way away from him. He's on the tee box. And I go down the fairway at this one particular hole. And it's really, really narrow. And I'm standing out there by myself, like behind a tree. And as I'm watching him hit, because I don't want to be a distraction, of course, right? So I'm behind a tree watching the ball. In the event that he mishits it, there's like water on one side. There's a bunch of beach bunkers on the other side and trees everywhere. And the rough on the outside of the fairway is really, really high. It's like 8 inches high. So when a ball goes there, it sinks and you're not finding it. So I'm waiting and waiting and I just watch another boy hit a ball and then another boy, and here comes Liam. So Liam gets on up and whack! He just rocks out this ball. And he throws it in the middle of the fairway. And it was just an awesome shot on this particular hole. And I wish all of them were like that, don't we? But anyway, so he rocked it on out there, and I stood up, wait for him to show on up, and gave him a fist bump. I'm like, good ball, bro. He's like, thanks. He's like, what are you feeling right now? I says, what are you feeling right now? He says, what do you mean? I says, I'm not playing this game for you. You're playing the game. I'm here to assist you, and I'll tell you what I'm feeling, but I'm not going to make that judgment call. I want you to feel it first. I want you to experience it first. And that's when it hit me. Hit me square in the face, hit me. That's what fathers should do. Instead of living their life, because I see this, I'm going to share a story here in a second, and it's rough. It's really rough, so I'm going to warn you, it's pretty warm. And, it's really warm. I'm telling you, you're going to enjoy this story. But when I, caddy for him, I'm not telling him how to play or do this stuff. I'm going to assist you, just like a dad should, right? A father does that to his son or his daughter and just children. And so I'm not going to live my life through you. How many parents do you know, male or female, young, old, doesn't matter, live their failed life or their competitive spirit or their intentions or their expectations of themselves through their children? I see it. I mean, all the time because I'm in the sports world. My daughter is a rock star dancer. The girl can shake it like a Polaroid picture. Yes, I'm dating myself. She can rock it out. She practices all the time. Super solid, go, 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 owns her moves. Did she always own her moves? No. Did my son Liam always own his golf game? No. Right? We mature and grow into that. That's what parents should do. Nurture and mature and help them. So as we parent our children and we do that, we escort them, if you will. Guide them, help them along their path that they navigate. To me, that's what a parent does. And so I was writing down a few things here, and I put a post up on Facebook. And so I did a post, and I was kind of going through a bunch of different things. And I wanted to make it really, really easy for people to understand that it's not about what I believe. And so I wrote down a few things here. I said, the Father doesn't tell you how to live your life, but is there for you when you make a mistake or when you win, and I'm there to celebrate with you. That's what a father does. Win or lose, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm your dad. And so, again, another one, it said a father creates a safe and protective dwelling for you to grow and mature as your own man. So these are the things I'm thinking about on the golf course, is that I'm not telling him how to do things, but I'm helping him along the way if he wants that help, if he needs somebody to lean on, if he has a great shot, hole in one, high five and celebrate with, or if he loses the tournament and puts a ball in the water or shoots, as he did not too long ago, a 13 on a hole. That's a really high score, by the way. And he was in first place, and he shot a 13 on a hole, and he's looking at me, what? I go, it's not my game, man. It's only golf. Welcome to life, Liam. Not everything's going to go your way. And so again, he lives with the seminar, right? As I always say. And so again, a father ensures that whenever you need, whatever you need, and however you need to create your own legacy, they are there for you no matter what. Just as a caddy is there for you during your good days and bad days, caddies don't leave you. Caddies don't leave. They stay with you. And they want to make sure that whatever you need during your game, that they're there for you. And that's what a dad does. A dad shouldn't leave, or a dad shouldn't make you feel less than, or all that good stuff. And so there was this one particular tournament. Boy, this is so crazy. This one particular tournament. And this tournament, there's no, I did not caddy. So I couldn't caddy this one because it wasn't an invitational. It was like a qualifier. And so we play and traveled across the country at all of the different golf that he plays. And so there's some dads, and moms, of course, but there's some dads particularly that are like hardcore, come on, oh, eye roll, I can't believe you did that. I see that weekly, I see that. It's just nuts. Sure, I'll get frustrated. I'm like, oh man, gosh, come on. As a cheerleader, not as somebody who's making them feel less. Ever. So here we are. It's the second hole on this particular day one. There's 2-day events. Second hole. And this boy hits this ball and gives it a ride. And pokes this ball on out there in the fairway. So my son gets on up and he hits, God bless him, particularly long. Longer than I do. Particularly long. And he rocks out this ball and hits it, and he hits the ball, drives it further than this. So we're all walking on out there, and they just so happen to have the same driver. You thought hockey was expensive or other sports were expensive? Oh yeah, no, golf is expensive. Trust me. And so we go on out there, and so we wait, and sure enough, and the dad's like, Liam, your ball's here. Because this boy was 2 years older than Liam. And so, Liam, your ball's here. And I looked on over it, and we can see Liam's markings on the ball. Remember, I marked the ball, so I know exactly what they look like. And I look, and I don't say anything because I'm not going to call it on out. Because remember, I'm not caddying. I just so happened to see it as I'm walking by the ball because I can't walk on the fairway per se, but it was just off, just really close to the rough, and the cart path was there, so it was easy for me to see the markings on his ball. And so I happen to walk and I look, and I go like this. I nod to Liam, and he looks, and he's like, "What do you mean nod?" I go, and I point down the fairway, and he understood. I'm like, okay. So I look at the markings on the ball, and those aren't Liam's. Those are the other boy. And so the other boy goes on up and looks and goes, "Oh, Dad, this is my ball." And this dad says, "What? What do you mean your ball? You let him outdrive you? With all the lessons I do this and I do that and I spend all this money on all the different things and you have the same club and he outdrives you? What the? And throws a bomb. Throws an F-bomb. Now I'm warm. Now I'm looking at him like, wow, Eddie, walk away. So I walk. So this kid's shooken up, as you can imagine. I couldn't imagine saying this to my child, let alone playing a sport. And so it was craziness. So he addresses the ball, and we're all waiting. He addresses the ball, hits the ball, and mishits this ball and hits it over towards the woods out of bounds. I can't believe this, you stupid MF. Straight up, that came out of his mouth. Big dude. I'm not a big guy. I'm 5'9", $180. These are big dudes. He's in the 6'2", 220-ish. And I'm like, holy cow. You know, it's short fuse guy. And I'm like, holy goodness, I need to address this right now. So he goes and just bombs his kid, right? And now his kid is in tears, as you can imagine, and feeling this big, less than, because my dad just freaking rocked my world right now in a very, very negative, toxic way, ego, sin-filled way, belittling me in front of others. I'm on the second hole, and I have 2 days of golf, today and tomorrow. Liam looks at me, and he's like, you've never yelled at me. I said, I will. That day is coming, but it won't be on a golf course. Maybe you'll do something silly, because I have done stupid stuff in my life, and trust me, I deserved, me being, reprimanded for it, to say the least. And so I'm like, your day's coming, but I won't do that to you. This is your game. This is your sport, Liam. So Liam gets on up, hits the ball, throws it up on the green. Finishes the hole. The other boy hits the ball on up there, and of course, because he hit the ball out of bounds, Liam beat him on that hole. And so Dad's warm, right? So Dad's really warm. And so, let me retract that a little bit. Liam hits it up onto the green. The other boy goes to hit it onto the green, and he puts it onto the green, but he's laying because he had to take a penalty for hitting out of bounds. Liam's on 2, this boy's on 4, no big deal. So we go on up. So the boys hit, and now the dad is hot, and he's walking. And I'm watching this dad walk, and so I'm scooting now. Now my heart's racing, and I'm like, wow, I really want to just clock this guy, but I have to own him right now. And so we're walking. I walk up next to him, and I am like button shoulders with him. He's like, excuse me? I go, walk. Effing walk right now. He's like, what? And he stops. Now we're walking. We're like cart path, right? And so, because we can't be on the fairway. We're like on the rough fairway, right, cart path-ish area. And so we're walking. I said, walk, man. And we're walking. I said, I need to share something with you right now. And he's just boiling. You see the color in this guy's face. I couldn't imagine. And now I stopped. Now I'm pointing at him. And I'm pointing up at him because he's bigger than I am. I said, I couldn't imagine what your life would look like if I heard you say what you said to your son to mine. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine what I would do. I couldn't. I can't even get words out right now. Do you know what your son feels like right now? It feels this big that my dad made him feel so less than. My dad mocked me, belittled me, is feeling certain ways that he's feeling because I'm not living up to his standard. This is his game. How dare you? How dare you? So this is what you're going to do, or we're going to have a bigger problem. The Chicago Eddie came out. So this is what you're going to do. And again, if I didn't have Christ in my life, there'd be some other choice words, and we would have a moment, him and I. But I retracted that, and I said, God's, I was praying before talking to this guy, use me, as I always ask God to use me. Show off today, use me. And he did. So I went to this dad, and I said, hey, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to your son right now as he's approaching the green. You're going to walk across this fairway. You're going to go to your son, drop to your knees, get eye level with him, and let him know how wrong you were and apologize to him right now. And when you do that, you are going to wrap your arms around your son and remind him that you are dad and that you love him. That's what you're going to do. And you're going to do it right now. And that was the face I gave him. And he froze. He knew I was not happy. And I was warm. And we're going to have a moment, him and I, if he doesn't do that. So sure enough, he takes a little walk, and he's walking to his son. Now I'm walking to the green. I don't care. It's just not my move. This is his move. I'm walking to the green, and as I approach the green, I talk to Liam. He's like, what did you say to him? Because my son saw him talk. What did you say to him? I said, Liam, it doesn't matter. It's just two dads having a moment right now. I'm more concerned about you having a fun time here and also playing your best. And any way that I can't assist you because I'm not caddying this tournament, but any way I can reassure you, be your cheerleader, know that I'm here for you, man. But go ahead, you can get up on the green and get ready. So he's up on the green, he marked his ball, fixed his divot, and he looks on back. And then I look on back. And this dad is on his knees with his arms wrapped around his son. It was awesome. And his arms wrapped around his son, and they had a moment together. They had a moment. And I didn't have to say anything anymore at all. And nor did he, because it put him in check. That's what we are supposed to do as men. This is what we're supposed to do to keep each other in check and lead. This isn't something that is based on a religion or what you believe or ego. No. This is about love and respect. And that's what happened on the golf course. That's what happened. And to me, being a caddy is like being that dad to where I can just lead by example and love by example. And in the hopes that he gets that and says, that's my dad. Because Liam said, you've never yelled at me. You've never swore at me. I've never heard you yell in the house. You've never yelled at Mama. You've never yelled at Mia. It's not what I'm going to be. I'm going to raise my tone. That day's coming. I'm not perfect, dude. That day's coming. But as of right now, I'm really good about putting myself in check because I want to put a smile on God's face, Liam. And by yelling at you or making you feel less than, will not do that. It won't. So we finished the hole. And so Liam putts on out because he was back there. The kid was wiping his tears, so we gave him some time. Happy tears because he and Dad had a moment. It was beautiful. Gosh, it was so beautiful. I wish I had a picture of it. So beautiful. And so we finished the hole. Liam's holding the flag because the other boy's on the green. And so he marks his ball, makes his putt, puts his putt in. We mark our scores. We go to the next hole. Next hole happened to be a par 3. Remember, I'm not caddying, so you can't coach as a spectator. We're parents or family members or friends. We're watching the game. They do everything. They mark their balls. They do it all, as they should. And so Liam has honors because he won the hole. Honors, you get to go first. So Liam's up on a tee box, and he's getting ready to go. It's a par 3 hole. It's not a long hole. So he's looking on over, kind of getting all situated, puts his tee down, takes his line. He's feeling pretty good, gets on up and addresses the ball. Dresses the ball, gets his club ready, and I go, Liam. It's quiet, mind you. There's probably 12 to 15 family members and friends with the other players, total. And he said, yeah, what? He looks at me like eyebrows squinting together, like, why are you talking to me? Remember, I can't talk to you. I can give you I can cheer you on. Come on, you can do this. Let's go, rock it, throw it on the green, anything. I could be your cheerleader, but I can't help you in your game. And it's not what you're supposed to do. There are parents that do that. You're not supposed to do that. Anyway, how are kids supposed to learn? Let them learn, parents. So I said, hey, Liam, you like your club? He's like, yeah. Okay. So the parents kind of look over at me like, and? It's borderline coaching here. Borderline. Liam gets up, goes to address the ball again. And as he goes to address the ball, I go, Liam. He said, what, Dad? I said, you know how far it is? He said, yeah. I said, okay. I said, what about the beach? You know how far that is? He's like, yeah. He's like, Dad, it's 154 yards to the hole. To the pin, Dad. It's 154 yards. The beach is 138. The water is 142. Almost, I mess up those numbers a little bit, but he knew those numbers. I said, okay. I said, can I go now? I said, yeah, Liam. You can go now. And I smiled at him. Now the parents are looking at me like, what are you doing right now? Because you don't have these conversations. And so sure enough, Liam goes to address the ball, and I do it again. Liam, he's like, what, Dad? Now he's getting flustered. And I said, I need to share something with you that's really important. And I want to make sure that everybody here knows where we are at, okay? And he's like, okay. I said, Liam, if you put it in the bunker, in the beach, that's what we call it, or if you put it in the water on the other side of the hole, or if you hit a hole in one, I want you to know something. You can hear a pin drop. Golf courses are quiet anyway, but now the parents and the other players are looking at me. And I said, if you put it in a bunker or the water or hit a hole in one, Liam, and I point to him, as your father, I love you the same, man. I love you the same. You can go ahead and hit. And that the parents, they understood all of what just happened on the previous hole. I had to put the nail in the coffin to this dad that don't ever do that to your son again. That was the lesson learned he had that day. It was just something that, I don't know where that came from. God gave it to me, and it was just, I was asking, and that's what came out of my mouth. And so it doesn't matter. He put it up on the green, and we played, and then continued the round, and it was beautiful. That's what dads do. That's what you're supposed to do, is lead by example. Give them a little bit of go ahead, a little nudge like, you got this, dude. But allow them to prepare in this thing called life. And if you feel like they're going to slip or something isn't going to go right, or they may get hurt, sometimes it's allowed to, you should allow them to get hurt a little bit. Feel the sting, the defeat, because that's how we grow. Parents are so afraid to allow their children to feel pain. Pain is part of life, and it's very, very, very important. Pain's a good thing to have. I'm a doctor. Pain's a good thing. That's your body's way of saying something's wrong. When you work out and you feel pain, that's your body's way of saying, wow, you're stressing the area that you're working out on, so you know you're getting a decent workout. When you have a relationship and things don't always go your way in certain relationships, personal or professional, those are painful. Those are lessons learned. Such is the game of life, people. And so when I play caddy with my son, play is the key word, because if you're not having fun, and that's our rule on the golf course, if you're not having fun, Liam, then quit this thing. It's not to say you shouldn't get frustrated, but at the end, you're doing it because you enjoy it and you want to be your best. You don't have to to be a golfer to have that mentality. I don't care what you're into or how you do the things that you do. Have fun at it, be your best at it, and do the best you can with what you have. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Because at the end, if you put the ball in the bunker, or if you put it in the water, or if you hit a hole in one, God still loves you the same. Truly. That day, that father, he got weller. He did. Gosh, it was an awesome day. Until then, I appreciate you. Think good things. Keep your head on straight. And have an awesome, awesome day.